Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Toronto Junior Canadiens team review. I'm Jaden here with Kirby Sloan as we take you through what was a really successful season for this Toronto Junior Canadiens team and really talented roster as well. Obviously, we'll take you through the roster. We'll start from the net and out. Paolo Frasca and Carter Frost starting goaltenders for the Toronto Junior Canadiens this year. And let's talk about the defense, who stood out for you as the defenseman this year.
I think the Junior Canadiens are one of the stronger defensive teams this season, and that came from a few guys. Henry Mews was somebody that every time we commentated a game or watched one of his games, he was noticeable. He made an impact on defense, and he was able to help generate some offense. Anthony Cristoforo was always somebody we noticed. He is 5'11", but he makes an impact. At 174, he was not afraid to hit and be hit out on the ice, and that made a huge impact. And the last one that I looked for is Jonas Iskander, another guy, shorter body, 5'6", but he was such an impactful player, a great skater, somebody that was very hard to beat and was a key to this team's defense.
Yeah, and then Andoni Themis, Adam Varga, and James Ventresca filling out the rest of that blue line. Obviously a really deep, talented group of six there. And how about up front? Obviously, again, so much talent on the front end for this team. Who stood out for you there?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of names you may recognize or may have heard, especially when looking at this OHL draft coming up. Some of these players will catch your eyes, some of them being Jacob Battaglia. You have Michael Hage and Ryan Koss. A lot of these guys made huge impacts. I love the way they played with speed, agility. This team, what made them special for me when we watched them on offense is they really played like a team. No man took it as a one-man show and went crazy. I mean, you had guys like Tersigny and Van Folsen, who are those big highlight players that you will see in clips all over your Instagram feed. But they were great team players, and that's what made this team so strong up front.
Yeah, but I mean, they also do have some of those game-breaking stars. I mean, Porter Martone. What else can you say? Just one of the best, most dynamic players in this draft class, and just a superstar at this level. So obviously a ton of talent up and down the lineup, but also that pack mentality is such an important thing to have for a team, especially at the GTHL level. Let's take a look at the standings here. Junior Canadiens came third in the league, finishing behind the Mississauga Senators by just 2 points with a 24-4-1 record. They were good for an .839 win percentage, 6.25 goals per game, and 1.96 goals against. Just dominance, both offensively and defensively, for the Toronto Junior Canadiens. So very talented team there, and you can see that it showed up in their results. So let's take a look at their goalie tandem in a little more depth now. Paolo Frasca, the starter. What do you have on him?
We talk about Frasca a lot, and there's a reason for it. Paolo Frasca is one of the more noticeable goalies in this league and somebody that makes an impact. He is a really solid goaltender. When you watch him in the net, he is making the high IQ play. You never see him chasing a game or chasing the puck. He's very calm. He's very composed in the net. You can see that the decisions come to him naturally. He trusts his instincts and he trusts his defenders. The one thing I really liked when I would watch him is goaltenders tend to struggle when they get screened, and you see that they will lose the puck. He is very good when being screened. It almost doesn't faze him. He's so composed that he knows where the puck is at all times, and he just trusts his positioning, and that's how he's able to make those saves. His positioning is unbelievable. He is a goalie, that plays really well under pressure, and if you are a part of this Canadiens team, you love that. You want a guy that can make the big saves in the clutch moments when you need him most. He's somebody that's going to step up in the clutch. He's somebody that you know if you're going into an overtime, you're going into a shootout situation that you can rely on. I don't think any of those Canadiens stress when they know they have him in net. His lateral movements are fantastic. He moves very quick. He gets across the net at the right time. He doesn't overstretch, he doesn't understretch. He covers the right areas. He is a really solid, athletic goaltender.
Yeah, and then their other goaltender, Carter Frost, and he's a really good goalie as well. He takes up a lot of the net. He uses his size really well. He's going to come out, he's going to challenge the shooter, and he makes it really difficult to beat him just on the first shot. And if he does allow a rebound, he's very solid. He uses his size, he gets across, and he gets in the way. Just such a solid player. He really tracks the puck well. He always knows where the puck's going to be, and he's got a high hockey IQ, which isn't something you usually look for in a goalie, but you can see it in the way he reads the plays and he moves to react to them. He uses that hockey IQ really well when he's playing the puck too. He knows where his teammates are going to be, and he knows how to get the puck from their zone to start it up on offense. And he's just such a consistent goalie. you know you're going to get night in, night out. Goaltending can be a very unpredictable and volatile position, but Carter Frost, you can rely on him to get it done every single time. So let's take a look now at a couple of the best players on this team. We've already touched on a couple of them, but our player spotlight, Porter Martone. What else is there to say?
You started off really well. This is one of the top players in this league, and in my eyes, he's a top 3 player. When you're looking at players transitioning to the OHL and the pro level, you look for one thing, how dynamic they can be. You don't want a one-trick pony. As somebody drafting this upcoming OHL draft, that's what you're looking for, and Porter Martone is a part of that. He's not somebody that is really predictable, gives you a flat game, not very dimensional. He is always going to come out strong and fast, and he has a really high hockey IQ. He makes good read for both his teammates, and he's able to stop opponents with those reads. He's able to slide in transition. He knows where he needs to go. He has really good coverage. He doesn't overcommit. He doesn't undercommit. He has the right amount, and that's what you want from that kind of player. He knows where he has to be, and he also knows where his teammates are going to be. We were talking about that pack mentality. This team plays as a team, and you can tell with somebody like Porter Martone, he knows where his teammates are going to be, and his teammates know where he's going to be. They find those open spots on the ice really well, and that's where they get dangerous. He has a ton of speed, which is something that you really look for, especially when going to the next level. Elite speed is important, and he has the hands to back that up. He's bringing the puck with him, and he's going to be able to make moves around players at that elite speed without losing any of his puck skills. He has the size to hit. He has the size to play in those corners. He's not going to get bullied by other players. He's going to make sure that he is the one doing the bullying, and that's something I can see him keeping up as he develops in the OHL and eventually maybe into the pros.
And then on the back end, we talked about Henry Mews, who's just one of the best defenders in this draft class. He's such a smart player, and you can see it in every single play he makes. In any situation, if you watch him, he's always going to be making the best play available. He's not going to panic under pressure. He's not going to just throw the puck up through the middle of the ice. He always knows what he's doing, especially in his own end. He's so calm, he's so composed, especially under pressure. You can see it sometimes when a team is under siege. You can see them starting to crack, especially those important defensemen who are playing so many minutes. If they can't handle the pressure, you can see the cracks starting to form, and it's not like that at all with Henry Mews. He is as cool as a cucumber in all situations. He knows how to be in the right positions, and he's always going to be in the right positions. And offensively, he's dynamic too. We were talking about how you want to look for a dynamic player, and he knows how to create offensive opportunities for himself no matter what the situation is. He's great on the power play. He's a good quarterback for them. He's got a great pass. He's got really good vision, and he knows how to set his teammates up, and he knows when to shoot as well. So he's such a smart player, and he uses his intelligence so well all 200 feet of the ice. So a terrific, terrific defenseman, Henry Mews. And we'll take a look now at the draft here and kind of the ranges that we think some of these players can go. So we'll start with our first round, and it's such a talented team. We've got a lot of first-round talent with the junior Canadiens.
This is going to be rare. We're not going to talk about many teams that are going to have this many first-round picks. And look at what we're talking about. We have Porter Martone, Jack Van Bolsen, Henry Mews, Michael Hage, and Anthony Cristoforo. That is a lot of first-round picks for a team. And if you're the Canadiens, you have to be happy with that talent that you're producing. These are guys that have shown to work, again, as a unit, but are stars individually and can have that ability to take over the games on themselves, and that's why they're first-round talents.
Yeah, and then rounds 2 and 3, we got a couple of players there as well. Jacob Battaglia and Antonio Tresigny, two really talented players, but obviously you're still developing at this age. You're not going to have a perfect game quite yet. These are guys who could end up being steals. They could end up being great OHL players. So keep an eye on them after they get drafted and as they develop, and try to work towards the pros. And then rounds 4 through 6, we've only got one player in here. What do you have on Antonio Famous?
I really like Famous. I think when you're talking about the Canadiens, these players that are falling into the later rounds were only affected by the team's success, and it's almost like they've been overshadowed. But I think he's a steal of a player. If you are getting him in the 5th, like we project, that is a steal. He is somebody who can be developed. He's a great project player, and I find he has a lot of upside. And so with the right training and the right coaching, he can really develop into something special. And to get him in the 5th is an absolute steal.
And then rounds 7 through 12, again, a bigger kind of category here, so lots of variety. Only a couple players from the junior Canadiens here. Aiden Russell, Joshua Colosimo, and Paolo Frasca. Frasca's the kind of player you might get a steal He might fall because he played behind such a solid team. It's hard to evaluate goaltenders in that kind of situation, but he's proven that he can be a really great goaltender at the GTHL level, and if he can take that to the OHL level, taking him in these late rounds is an absolute steal. And then 4 more players in the final 3 rounds of the draft, 13, 14, 15, Ryan Koss, Ian Bianco for Carter Frost, and Jonas Iskander. So such a deep junior Canadiens team. We project that just about every player on this team is going to get drafted after such a successful season that they've just had. We're looking forward to seeing how these players do at the draft and how they do going up on and into their pro careers. Jaden Ho for Kirby Sloan from the Six Hockey, thank you so much for watching.